Shalom and welcome to Walking the Walk, a linguistic analysis of the terms used in Psalm 119. Today we will do part 5, the word for statutes. The Colonel says you can't understand Hebrew unless you know what it says. Hebrew is constructed in such a way that words with similar letters have related meanings. By examining the related roots of each word, we come to a better understanding of what Hebrew words mean. The word for statute appears in two different forms, a male form and a female form, chok and chukah. It's variously translated as statute, ordinance, limit, something prescribed, an enactment, or a decree. It's consistently translated as statutes in King James, Psalm 119, and you see a list of verses where that word will appear. The idea of a chok is something that's an enactment or a decree that gives a limitation to actions. Genesis 47:22. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they sold not their lands. This is in the time of Joseph, and the priests have by decree an amount that is allocated them by Pharaoh, and this is their chok. Exodus 5:14. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten, and demanded, Wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick both yesterday and today as heretofore? So the task is a chok. It's ordained or decreed by the Pharaoh, and it limits the actions of the people. This is what they have to do. In Exodus 15:26, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and wilt give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh that healeth thee. Again, this is the idea of a statute, of a law, something that's prescribed, and it tells us what to do. Leviticus 10:13. And ye shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due and thy son's due of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire, for so I am commanded. This is the portion, it's the allotment that goes to the Levites. It is their chok. In Job 23:12, Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary, and the idea of food is inserted by the translators. What is the necessary? It's what the portion is. It's what the allotment is. It's not very large. It's not very small. It's exactly what you need. This is the beginning of the idea of daily bread. We're going to see that in a minute. Job 26:10. He hath compassed the waters with bounds, until the day and night come to an end. The seas have a limit that's set up by Yahweh. It's prescribed for them. They can move inside the limits, but they may not go beyond the bounds of the water. Proverbs 30:8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. An interesting translation. We see the NASB says, which is my portion. The Young's literal also, of my portion. What is ordained for me, what is prescribed for me, within the context of what is neither poverty nor riches, what is good for me, what you have allotted to me. And this is the idea of lechem chuki, daily bread. Isaiah 5:14. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it. This is something that's without measure, without chok, beyond the prescribed amount. Chukah, the same word, is just a feminine form of it. Genesis 26:5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and laws. Exodus 12:17. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, For in this self same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. It's a prescribed time, and it tells you what you need to do during that time. Exodus 12:43. And Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. This is one of the limitations of Passover, that the uncircumcised person may not eat of it. Numbers 19:2. This is the ordinance of the law which Yahweh hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. The ordinances of the red heifer, the laws concerning it, are somewhat cryptic. The rabbis say this kind of chok is a law we don't understand. Sometimes Yahweh might give us a law and we don't understand it, but it's still a law. It's a prescribed activity, a prescribed ritual that he wants us to do for his purposes. Jeremiah 10:3. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of a forest, the work of the hands of a workman with an axe. You might be already familiar with this verse, the idea that a chukah can be a custom. It's prescribed by the culture, not by Yahweh, and it limits your behavior. It gives you some specific behaviors that you are to do. Jeremiah 31:35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon, and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. The moon and the stars have ordinances. They have prescribed places where they go. It's a fixed limitation on their orbit through the sky. A parent root is a two-letter phoneme which expresses an idea but may not be a word by itself. We see that chok with the vav is the same idea as chok or chukah without the vav, and we're going to look at some words that have this parent root of chet kuf. Chakak means to literally cut out or inscribe or to make a decree. The idea is that something is graven in stone. Genesis 49:10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall be the gathering of the people. Mechokek is a lawgiver, the person who inscribes the law as if in stone. It's set in stone. Proverbs 31:5. Lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. So literally what is inscribed in stone is what the law is. Job 19:23. Oh, that my words were now written. Oh, that they were printed in a book. The idea of being inscribed, whether in stone or not, but the idea of being written. Isaiah 22:16. What hast thou here, and whom hast thou here, that thou hast hewed thee out a sepulchre here, as he hath hewed him out of a sepulchre on high, and that graveth a habitation for himself in a rock? This is the idea of cutting a cave or a burying place out of a stone, the idea of inscribing or cutting up a stone. Isaiah 33:22. For Yahweh is our judge, Yahweh is our lawgiver, Yahweh is our king, he will save us. Again, who is making the laws? And to verify that for a second witness, in the Brit Chadashah, in the New Testament, we read in James 4:12, there is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that thou judgest another? There is only one lawgiver. That's worthy of thinking about. Isaiah 49:16. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands, thy walls are continually before me. This is a beautiful verse, and if you go to Orthodox synagogue, or you might see some Orthodox or ultra-Orthodox Jewish men or women praying by the wall in Jerusalem, they lift their hands to their eyes and they cover their face with their hands. And we see this picture of Yahweh covering his face with his hands upon which your name is engraved. Another word that comes from this root is chek. It's translated usually as bosom, but it's not necessarily female meaning, but it means the place of intimacy that is formed by between the breasts and the arms. So the idea is a place of closeness. Genesis 16:5, and Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given thy maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahweh judge between me and thee. So this is Abraham's bosom. In other words, Sarai gave her handmaiden Hagar to Abram so that they could raise up this child. So Abram took Hagar into a place of intimacy, in other words, into his bed, so that they could raise up children. Exodus 4:6, and Yahweh said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. This is the story of Moshe. He is in the wilderness. He's having his first encounter with Yahweh about getting prepared to lead the children out of Egypt, the children of Israel out of Egypt. And Yahweh's giving him these signs that he can show the people. So when Moses puts his hand, it's inside his cloak to an intimate place up against his chest. Ruth 4:16, and Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became nurse unto it. I don't think that this is a literal nurse. She is old and she is already the grandmother, but she is becoming the caretaker for the child, and she's holding the child close to her in a gesture of intimacy. Proverbs 16:33, the lot is cast unto the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of Yahweh. So it's we don't think of tossing dice on our chest, but maybe in our lap, but it's a place of closeness. Jeremiah 32:18, Thou showest loving kindness unto thousands, and recompensest the iniquity of the fathers into the bosom of their children after them. The great, the mighty God, Yahweh of hosts, is his name. So it may not necessarily be a good thing to have something in your bosom, because here this is iniquity coming into the intimacy place of the children of the fathers. Cognate roots are roots that are related to each other by linguistic rules of sound shift. We're going to look at 3 different related roots, substituting the guttural chet for the guttural ayin, and then also we're going to look at substituting the velar consonant k for g. So we have akah, chagag, and chug. Akah is not used very much. We have 2 examples here. It means to press upon or to press in on. Deuteronomy 22:8, when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thy house, if any man fall from thence. The word that's translated battlement is ma'akah, and it's what we think of as a parapet. So we want to have a fence around the edge of the roof of our house so that nobody can fall off and have an accident. Again, the idea is that the people are limited in their actions, and it's for their own safety. In Psalm 55:3, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. Again, the idea of pressing in from all sides to limit the person. Chagag means to dance in a circle or to observe a festival. A festival is a time that comes around on a cyclical basis. Exodus 5:1, and afterward Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh God of Israel, Let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. In Psalm 107:27, they reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man and are at their wits' end. The movement of the drunken man is going back and forth and coming around and around and around again to the same thing. Chug means a circle or to compass something about. Again, the idea of something circular. Job 26:10, he hath compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. So this is, we already looked at this verse with the limitation, and God limits the waters around their borders. Isaiah 44:13, the carpenter stretcheth out his rule, and marketh it out with a line. He fitteth with planes, and he marketh it out with a compass, and maketh it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it may remain in the house. Mechogah is the word for compass. We have talked about how the mem makes a noun from a verb. Again, the idea of something around. What does these ideas of statutes mean in the spiritual life of a believer? Yahweh has given us an allotment in this world, and it is partially concerned with how we conduct ourselves. What is the behavior that we do in this world? He has limited our actions and hedged us in for our own protection. The teachings, as we talked about when we talked about Torah, these are teachings. They give us a direction. The direction that we take is limited by Yahweh's prescription. He hedges us in for our own benefit. He circumscribes in stone a circle of behavior that we need to stay inside of that circle of behavior for our own benefit. The series of feasts is a circle. It's a cycle in the year, and we make these different stops. He tells us what to do at each one of these festivals. Our behavior for these things is prescribed, and it is for our benefit. Sometimes we don't understand the reasons for these limitations. Things that are in Yahweh's economy might be cryptic unto us. The more we dwell with Him, the more we are in fellowship with Yeshua, our Messiah, the more we can understand about these things. There are many lessons within the laws for the red heifer that as you get to know Messiah, the laws of the red heifer become clear. There's the scarlet thread. We understand what the scarlet thread is, the line of Messiah through history. What was the scarlet thread that was tied around the horns of the Azazel? We see the wood being thrown into the fire. We see the animal being burned outside the camp, just as Yeshua was nailed to the stake outside the camp. All these things give us pictures. But can we understand every bit of every minutiae of things that Yahweh requires? No, we don't understand everything. But if we know our Lord, we love Him, we love our Father in heaven, we know that He's good to us, then we can cheerfully follow these things that we don't understand. When we looked at the two verses in Isaiah 33:22 and James 4:12, we see that there is one lawmaker. He is the one who carved those words in stone. He is also the one who saves us. There is only one Savior, that is Yahweh Yeshua. Yeshua is Yahweh. This is critical to our understanding. I'm sure there are many other things that you can think about as you meditate on these related roots. In the meantime, Tasimat ha'inayim al hashamayim, keep your eyes on the sky, your redemption draweth nigh. Shalom.